Welcome to the Versa Business Tips Podcast. I'm your host, founder and CEO of Versa Business Systems, Shaheen Mazloom. We're here with a very special guest today, Filip, good friend of mine. We randomly met at a mastermind at Grant Cardone's office. We've been friends ever since, doing business together, a partner in insurance side of our business. And man, I'm excited to talk to you, bro. It's been a while since we've been able to actually have a long conversation about us and business instead of just specifically what we're doing, man.
Yeah,
So I'm looking forward to
it. Me too, man. Thanks so much for having me on the show today.
Absolutely. Thanks for taking the time, bro. So for those out there that don't know you, explain a little bit about what you do, what your expertise is.
Great. Yeah, thanks so much. So my name is Filip Lundstedt. I own an insurance agency called ProCare Consulting. We're a brokerage agency, and what that means is that we represent all of the companies, for the majority of the major national companies here in the United States. We're in over 34 different states, and we predominantly specialize in health, and then we have a secondary focus in life and wealth products as well, and we utilize teams and strategic partners to do that. So it's just been something I've been doing for about 22 years and absolutely love the insurance industry, man. And just really psyched about meeting with you again. Like you said, man, we haven't done this in a little while. We're all just kind of talking on the phone.
On the go.
Cool phone, man. I mean, we talk on the phone, right? So yeah, man, I'm just excited to be here, brother.
Absolutely, man. So, I've learned a lot about insurance just mostly through you over the last year since we met. And, I think most people don't realize the amount of different types of insurance products that are out there that can, and what they do, right? It's not just like health insurance and, being able to go see a doctor. There's so many different products. Like, do you have to be licensed for every single type of product, or explain the business side of it? How does that work?
So, it depends on the state that you live in. Every state's different. So I live in Florida. So my resident license is in the state of Florida, and it's called a 215 that lets you do life, health, and variable annuities. So that's what my license does. You could get a health only license, a life only license. And in certain states, you have to do it that way. You've got to get a life license and then a separate health license. And anybody that's in the insurance industry, especially on my side, not the property and casualty side, but on my side, you should have a life insurance license and a health insurance license because they kind of intertwine with each other. And you got to be really careful if you just have one license over the other.
Right.
And a lot of it has to do with, like, if I sell you a health product and then you get and all I do is health, and you're like, well, what do you do for life insurance? Well, I don't really do that. Okay, great. Well, then they're going to call a life insurance guy. And that life insurance guy, if he has a health license, he's going to say, yeah,
he's going to sell. Yeah.
What's going on with the health?
Yeah, he's going to bundle them both. Exactly.
You end up being, and I don't know why people don't do it, man. They get misled or they're intimidated. I don't know. Get both licenses if you can, if you're coming into this business. It's super duper important.
Right, for sure.
Where we like to go down a different route, and we like to do, now I do fully insured. Sometimes it's the best thing. I'll be honest with you. There are very few insurance companies that want to cover dispensaries or lawyers. Oh my gosh, let me tell you, lawyer offices, no one wants to insure a lawyer because lawyers know how to litigate and lawyers know how to get out of things.
Well, it's the same thing with like lending, right? Most lending companies won't lend to a law firm because if they default on the loan, they got to go up against legitimate lawyers. Whereas a small business owner, they're not going to have a team of attorneys ready to go against this lender. So yeah, I totally get that.
So there is a place for fully insured products. And what we really like to look at ProCare is we like what's called self-funded, level-funded products. This is what Fortune 500 companies are doing, right? They're doing self-insured products. They're self-insuring. They're putting their own money in the claims fund. They know exactly what's going on. They have full transparency. They have full control. And they don't really get massive rate increases every year. They stay pretty even-keeled. They're in single-digit increases. Listen, people that say, I want a policy that'll never go up. My guy, inflation
it doesn't exist, right?
It doesn't exist, right? It's like, oh, the gas prices are going to stay the same forever. No way. The price of tortillas, they're going to stay. No, it doesn't happen. Inflation happens, but what we can do is hedge against it by putting you on a program that gives you transparency. It gives you access to data. And in the level funded world, which is self-insured, meaning you're paying a portion of the insurance, and then you have the insurance company that's also chipping in as well. That's what the level funded really means. And you have a portion of your money that's going into claims, a portion of your money that's going into administration and management, and a portion of your money that's going into other things, right?
Right,
And when you
right.
look at level funded, the beautiful part of it is you get lower rates than what fully insured is. So you're already
Uh-huh.
saving money on premium. The second
Right,
thing is full transparency. You get all your data so you can leverage that against other things to get lower home like property insurance, business insurance.
right,
You can leverage that against, or if you're trying to get life insurance, Keyman life insurance, you can leverage that because you have the data to prove that you have a healthy group. The
right.
biggest part of it, Shane, which people love, is at the end of the year, you have a healthy year with a company, you can get a return on your premium. You can get a return of any unused claims. So if you have a claims fund that's at
Interesting.
$100,000 and at the end of the year, you haven't used any of it, you get a check for
Right.
100 grand.
Wow.
Business owners
That
love it when
makes,
I show up with a
yeah.
check for 27K,
Oh,
50K,
exactly.
60K. They're like, what's this
Oh,
for?
100%.
It's for being healthy.
Right. Yeah.
And these are PPO products, nationwide coverage, some of the largest networks that exist. And most business owners aren't doing this because brokers don't talk about it because it's
Right.
complicated.
Why? Oh, because it's complicated.
It's complicated for them. It's easy for us.
Right.
It's pulling a census and running through it. And we have phenomenal census companies that we use that
Right.
utilizes AI that makes it super quick. And
Right.
I can pull fully bindable quotes in less than 14 minutes. Less than
Wow.
14 minutes. And fully bindable, man. And have somebody going by the first of next month, and they can
Right.
be on a product that really works for them.
Right. Right.
And
That
when
makes sense.
it's the best way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that totally makes sense. So let's talk about something a little bit more fun. So when you've owned this company for how long now?
So I've owned ProCare now for 5 years.
Right. But you've been in the insurance,
22.
as an entrepreneur for 20 years?
Yep. Over 2
Yeah.
decades, man.
Wow, man. Wow.
That's where these grays
So
come from.
I know, right? Well, you got kids. I'm sure I'd have some grays
It's
if I had
coming.
some of my own. How you were going to start in the insurance industry and grow it into where you're at now?
It's I guess it's the story of any entrepreneur, right? Mistakes. And
Right.
then realizing, this is my passion and I don't want to give it up and I'm going to learn. Right. So I started not looking at loss as losing. I started looking at it as learning. Right. And I,
Learning, yeah,
Robert
100%.
Kiyosaki says
I
that best,
literally
right?
just posted a video about this probably an hour ago,
I love
right?
that.
Every failure is an opportunity for learn. You're not failing, you're just learning.
Exactly. And it's experience, right? They have that old saying that,
Yeah,
when experience meets money, you know, money leaves with experience and experience leaves with money. So it's
exactly.
kind of like that. When I started in the industry, I was working for a very captive agency, meaning they owned my book, they owned my commissions, they owned everything. And they
Right.
were they were guerrilla marketing. They were knocking on doors. They were dropping us off in the middle of nowhere. Say, hey, we'll be back in 8 hours. Go sell some stuff. Here's some pieces. It fake leads, dude. We just show up the doors like, hey, yeah, you filled this out, right?
Right.
And it was rough, man. It was rough. And
Yeah, I
I did
bet.
really well at it because I was dead broke. I
Right.
was Section 8 living. I was, I had nothing, man. I was eating hummus and tortilla wraps, dude.
Right.
And I was making the hummus because chickpeas are cheap and I get them from food
Right.
pantries. I remember being dead broke. My daughter was about 4 or 5 years. I want to say she was about 4 years old when that was going on. I did that
Right.
for a while. And, I got hit with some big chargebacks. I'd make a check for like 12 grand and then it would fall apart and they'd want that money back. And I'm like, I already spent
Right.
it. Like,
Right.
what am I
Exactly.
doing
I don't
now?
know what to
Like,
tell you.
yeah, the
Yeah.
stress was just crazy. And then I got out of that. I worked for Humana as a captive agent. And then I worked for United as a captive agent and, making six figures and then losing it, making six figures and
Right.
losing it on that roller coaster. And I said,
Yeah.
this company is controlling my income
Yep.
and I know what I'm doing. And I
Right.
have the passion and I love helping people. I love coming up with
Right.
strategies and seeing people have success. I'm
And
just going to go it
I'm
alone.
assuming they were falling apart on things that you had no control over,
Correct.
like the customer service and,
Yeah.
stuff
Or
like
or
that you're not.
negotiations, network
Yeah.
negotiations. This hospital
Right.
all of a sudden doesn't take the a popular hospital chain doesn't take the insurance and everybody's going to flock to a
Right.
different insurance company because I'm captive. I can't sell that insurance company.
Right.
So, I worked for the insurance companies. And I
Yeah.
said, I can't keep doing this. I want to work for my clients. I don't want to work for
Right.
insurance companies. I want to work for my clients. And
Right.
as a broker, the moment I became a broker, I started representing all of the insurance companies, but I was
Right.
working for my clients. So if United Healthcare lost a doctor, my client came to say, I really love this doctor. I said, great, let's move you over to a different insurance. Because I
Right.
don't care if it's United or Humana or Aetna or Blue Cross. I don't
Right.
care. I care
Right.
about my client having success and seeing the value. And
Yeah.
when I started doing that, man, that was one of the micro changes that I did. People were
Right.
like staying with me. And I was like, this is
Yeah.
great. I can earn an
Right.
income and keep it because I
And
can be
keep the
versatile.
client forever, because
Exactly.
now I have all this option and all this opportunity to be able to do
Exactly.
what they want me to do.
Yep. Exactly. So I did that for years and years and years. And I was a solo team, right? It was me and my mentor who had actually
Right.
left being a captive agent, became a broker first. And he kept telling me, hey, Philippe, man, you're an indoor cat, man. When are you going to become an outdoor cat? He had this whole theory. I love it. I use it to this day. I'm like, you're an indoor cat. Everything seems great. You're a cat. You do all these. Yeah, you're a cat just like me, but you live
Right.
inside. Someone gives you water, gives you food. You have a
Right.
couch to lay on. Someone's cleaning up your kitty litter and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And when you're an outdoor cat, you don't have any of that, right? And
Right.
the indoor cat looks outside and says, yeah, that looks tough. This cat's eating in the dumpster or this and this and that.
Right.
But I choose where I want to go. I choose
Yeah,
where I want to
exactly.
eat, and it taught me how to hunt. Sheen, it taught me how to
Yeah.
hunt. And
Yeah.
now I've got an ability and a gift from God that allows me to survive in any economy. It allows me to
Right.
survive in any situation because I know how to hunt and I know how to adapt. And if guess
Right.
what? I'm out there hunting and I run out of one prey, I can find another one. I can find
Right.
another one. I can find another one because I know how to track. I know how to feed. I
Yeah.
know how to read the stars and the wind and all that shit, right? Like I
Right.
know how to do these things now. And I
Yeah.
would have never
Now,
gotten that.
did you learn all these things by just doing and figuring it out, or like is there, I mean, I know we met at a mastermind, but I mean, you were super, passionate, and I mean, I could tell just, the first time I met you that like you knew a lot of this stuff already. Did you learn it by just doing it and figuring it out as you go, or did you learn from, did you go to college?
I did not. I'm a college dropout, man,
Yeah,
major
same.
ADHD, a lot of learning
Yeah.
disabilities and stuff like that. It wasn't for
Yeah.
me.
Same.
I had a mentor. I had a great mentor. His name is Tim Ramick. He was an absolute whale in the business.
Right.
And he was doing one to many seminars. And he really took me under his wing. And he was like, roll with me. I love your passion. I love your energy. And I was like,
Right.
great, man. I was like, let's go. And then I went along with them. And man, I would show up like 3 hours before the seminar. I would make sure I literally have a vacuum cleaner and vacuum the rooms. If there was anything, I would wipe all the tables down. I would
Wow.
organize everything. I'd put all the paperwork out. I'd do everything. And when he was talking, I would watch the crowd. I'd be like,
Right.
this guy, I would number the seats. Guy at number 2, he had this reaction when you said this, bum, 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 bum. So
Right.
that when he sat down and it was my turn to stand up and talk to everybody, he could just
Right.
look down at the table and I'd have notes of everything that was going on. And he was like, oh my
Right.
God, man. So we built this system just out of me being super wide eyed and super appreciative for this guy, giving me
Right.
the opportunity. And I had met him earlier when I was working at Humana and we had won a bunch of awards together. And he really got me to become an outdoor cat. So I
Right.
learned from him. But, like anybody else, I got to the top of my game and I thought I knew everything. Right.
Right.
And it wasn't until I surpassed him that I
Right.
started to realize I don't have anybody to look up to. And then,
Right.
I did that. And then I had my biggest year of my life in 2019. And then COVID happens, right?
Right.
And you give a guy like
That's the
me a lot
same
of
thing that
time.
happened with me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. You give a guy like me with a lot of time on his hands. I was like, I'm going to start an agency. I'm going to
Yeah.
teach the next generation how to not make the mistakes I made, how to learn how to do this properly, give them the right resources and get
Yeah.
them to and it was really about belief systems. And at that time I was
Right.
pretty deep into Tony Robbins, right? So Tony Robbins opened up my belief system, walking on fire, breaking boards, all that
Right.
stuff,
Right.
like going crazy, like learning all the moves and how to not necessarily motivate, but how to get discipline.
Discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Motivation is pointless.
it's fleeting.
Discipline is what you need.
Exactly, right? So
Yeah.
I learned that from Tony and my mindset got real sharp and really, really killer. And then I started doing CrossFit and that like got my fitness up, and
Right.
I'm not trying to plug CrossFit here or anything, but I did that, which is extremely difficult, extremely hard. I was doing it like
Yeah.
4:30 in the morning. You know me, I wake up crazy
Yeah,
early.
man.
Every single day. I got receipts for that shit too. I put it out all the time, right? I always got
Yeah,
receipts
man.
for stuff. And I just got this killer instinct in me. And I was like,
Right.
I'm never gonna stop. I'm never gonna relent. I'm going to sign up for every mastermind I can. I'm going to get in front of every person I can. I'm going to learn from every single person I can. And that's when we met each other. I
Right.
was already primed, dude. I was already like,
Yeah.
obviously, I was already in it to win it, man. And I was like,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
man.
yeah. Network, connect. How can I serve you? How can I help you?
Yeah.
And that's really where you and I built a relationship, right? Was off
Right.
of how can we serve each other? How can we help each other?
Exactly.
And it just became
Yep.
natural for you and me to have conversations about growth and about business and how you
Yep.
maybe should look at from this angle and that angle. There have been a lot of things that you've told me that I'm like, dude, I never even thought about it from that angle. You're not even
Right.
in my business, but I'm learning
Exactly.
from people
Yeah.
outside, because we're in the
Exactly. Dude,
box,
I mean they say like what you become the five people you spend the most time with, right? And it's so true. Like the amount of things that I've learned just doing this podcast, for example. Like just doing this podcast, and it's not about the views and the listeners and the downloads, none of that. It's about the people and the conversations that I've had that I've been then able to implement some of the things that we've talked about on these podcasts into my business, and it's just growing episode after episode. Like
yeah.
every single episode, I get true value out of it as well, just as much as everybody else.
Yeah, that's the best, man. That's the best. That's
Yeah.
when one thing feeds the other, right? And
Yeah, man.
it's like a
It's just
byproduct.
a mutually beneficial interaction, man. There's nothing better.
Exactly. No,
There's
absolutely. I
nothing
love
better,
that.
man. So, we're obviously working on PHI together. We're starting to get it into the Fortune 100, 500 companies. Um, you know, what is kind of your, you've been in the insurance game for a long time. What is your take on PHI and how it differs from the other Section 125 programs that are out there that business owners may be looking at?
Yeah, so when you're doing Section 125s, they've been a source of fraud and a source of
Yeah.
criminality for about 17 years. I mean, for
Yep.
brokers that don't know what we're talking about that are in the insurance industry, one, geez Louise, man, fire your upline if you don't know what I'm talking about. Like you come work for me, right?
Right.
I'm being serious, right? Like if you don't, maybe they know them as cafeteria plans. That's what they're also known as,
Yes.
right? Section
Yeah.
125C is a tax code. A cafeteria plan is what they rolled it out as. And it's really being able to like pick certain things that are kind of on fringe, which is like mental health and nutrition and different things of that nature. And PHI, preventive health initiatives, through specifically to Project Blues, is way different because it's streamlined, it's modernized, it's automated, and they're using technology to get the absolute best and most juice out of what they're squeezing, right? And that's
Right.
what business owners need to know. And it's also about not putting them in a situation where they're liable for the IRS to come in and tear your business apart because somebody is falsely claiming things on the back end.
Yep.
So it's really
Exactly.
measured with the systems. And I've never worked with a company that was doing it that well. So
Yep.
now we have a program that is so guaranteed to help people get money back for the employer, get better benefits for the employees, that it's a win-win situation. And it helps me because I come into a company and I'm helping them with their health insurance and I'm saving them tons of money there. I'm getting them checks back on their unused claims. And then I can say, hey,
Right.
listen, you like that? Just give me your payroll and I'm going to show you something else that you can take advantage of that will automate things, and you're going to get a lot of money back, which will help you scale your company. Because at the end of the
Right.
day, you and I are in the same business. We want to
Yeah.
scale small businesses.
Exactly. That's what we want to do. We want to help them grow and save money. I
Exactly.
mean, it's like, I think my favorite thing about PHI is, the money's great. Businesses want to save money. People want to make money. That's all good and dandy. But when you can put these benefits, mental health counseling and depression counseling and drug counseling and marital counseling and a nutritionist, and them and their whole family can get these for free, what are you doing to the country? When you're able to get this in the hands of 100 million Americans, you're changing the country, because now people can be happier, they can be healthier,
That's
they
it.
can have access to all these things that they should have access to anyway. But unfortunately, we don't live in England, so they
Right.
don't.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right. And I'm glad that you bring that up. I was at a conference 3 weeks ago, and I went there with my wife, and we were at this conference. And the number one Googled word in the world today, especially in America, is anxiety,
Yep.
which means people are self-diagnosing. They're
Mm-hmm.
looking up things on do I have anxiety? And they look it
Yeah.
up, self-diagnose. Oh, I have anxiety. Do you? Who
Right.
told you that? Right? It's like when people just say, "Oh, and this may be a little taboo, but when people are like, "Oh, I'm on the spectrum," what are you
Yeah. What
talking
does that
about?
mean?
You're not on the spectrum, dude. Like, you have ADHD, you're on the spectrum now. Like, it's
Right.
crazy to me. I'm like, who
Yeah.
told you that? Oh, I
Right.
Google told me.
Right.
Google told you this? Like, that's not a viable person to tell you that. So you're
Right.
absolutely right. When you're able to bring in mental health and you're able to bring in these resources, depression
Right.
counseling, it changes the fabric of your company. It
Yeah.
changes the fabric of
And with the
America.
ease of an app,
That's
right?
it.
The number one lead causing of death in men is not going to the doctor. Now you can tap your app, set an appointment. When it's time for the appointment, your phone rings and boom, you're looking at your doctor.
That's it.
Whether it's for mental health counseling, whether it's for a general checkup, maybe it's for setting up an appointment to go see a specialist of some sort, whatever, right on your phone. It's so easy.
So
And on
easy.
top of that, you've got the wellness assessment that they do every year.
Yep.
Now you're being able to see, okay, well, my body fat percentage, am I eating the right things? Am I not? What can I do to get my heart level, back to normal, my, whatever, right? Back to normal with just my diet, with a
Exactly.
free dietitian at your beck and call at any point in time by just going into the app.
Yep.
Right. I mean, it's just incredible. And I'm super excited to really blast this thing off. I mean, we've got it in, I don't know, 60,000 companies already. I'm excited to get to the point where a third of the country is on it. Like, I
Yeah.
can't wait to see what those numbers are, like the drop in depression and suicides and, all these different things, man. I'm pumped, man. I love it.
Yeah, no, it's great, and I see variations of it. Right, there's all these companies that do
Yeah.
variations. They're like halfway.
Dude,
Section
they
one
hit
twenty
me up
three.
all the time. Hey, man, we could pay you more commissions. I'm not doing it for more
Yeah.
commissions. I'm doing it because this is legal, one.
Yep.
It is compliant, two. It's the only program of its time that's been approved by Fortune 100 companies. None of the others ever have. I was
Yep.
talking to a Fortune 100 company last week. They've tried to put 5 programs similar to this through their compliance department. Every single one of them failed.
Yeah. They don't want to
I
get
sent them
sued.
over PHI with the direct IRS links to each part of the program. They put it through a 3-month process and it passed compliance.
Yep.
Right? You're going to make $50 more from some other program to have a non-compliant? Like, dude, you're not going to keep that client for very long.
No, and you're gonna
When the
put.
IRS comes and
Oh man, you're gonna
wants
ruin
their
their
money
life.
back.
And you're gonna ruin their life, man. You're gonna
Yeah,
ruin their
you really
life with
could.
this, and that's and
Yeah.
I'm and that's what it absolutely drives me crazy. And I'm glad that you said that, because Fortune 100 companies have compliance officers, right? But
Yeah.
small businesses, they don't.
Don't.
So
Right.
what happens to them? Nobody cares, right? Nobody cares when the mom and pop shop goes down. I care.
Sadly, most people don't, right? Like, there's so many, like, that's why I stopped working for B2B sales companies. I knew I had to create my own, because literally 90% of the sales reps there, all they care about is their commission. They didn't
Yep.
care about, is this good for the business owner? Is it going to help the business owner? Is it going to put him in a better place? Is it going to be good long term? Right? It's like, oh, I closed a deal. I made a commission. That was
That's
it.
it.
That was all that anybody really cared
Right.
about. And I was just like, man, I'm out. I don't want that. That's why I don't hire seasoned salespeople. I don't hire people with 10, 20, 30 years sales experience,
Right.
because they could sell, 500 accounts in 3 months. Like, I don't care about that. Are you a good person? Do you like helping people? Right? Are you somewhat familiar with how businesses work? Right? That's all I need. You're a
That's
good
it.
person. You like helping people. You're familiar with businesses. Great. I'll teach you everything else you need to know.
I love that, because product knowledge is product knowledge, right? And then bad habits come from people that worked at the wrong places. And, with Section 125C programs, PHI, you got to be really careful, man, because you can really mess somebody up if you don't do them right. And the fact that we have a company that does it really well, and it's all structured through like automation and all that, and it makes it
Right.
like guaranteed that you can't mess it up. I mean, you
Yeah.
cannot mess it up because
That's
the way
the
it's
awesome thing.
templatized.
Yeah, the way they use technology with it, even for the enrollment part,
Yep.
right? Like, all these other companies, you want to go ahead and try and enroll a company that has 200,000 employees, it'll take you 3 years before you see any commission.
Yep.
We can do it in 4 days.
Exactly.
It's like,
Exactly.
it's nuts.
It's the
It's
same thing with
nuts.
like when I scrub censuses. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't have to collect individual applications. I get a census one time, I plug it in
Right.
14 minutes, I got what I need, and I can get somebody in and enroll the entire company in less
Yep.
than a month. And people are like,
Yep.
that's
Technology is
impossible. Okay.
everything. Yep.
It's easy.
Technology is
Oh
everything,
my God.
man.
And
It's
people abstain from it, right? They're like,
yeah.
you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Dude, it's broke.
Yep. Oh
It's
yeah,
broke, man.
100%.
You got to fix
Exactly. You
that.
don't realize how broke it is until you actually start utilizing some of
Exactly,
this
man.
new technology. You're like, man, I should have used it years ago. But what's going to happen is the people that aren't getting on getting on the bandwagon of AI and technology, they're going to be swallowed up by their competition. They're not going to be around in the next 5 years. It's not like 5 years from now they can be like, oh, well, let's go ahead and try it now since everybody else is doing it. By then, it's too late.
Right.
By then it's too late. You've
Yeah.
already, your competition has already swallowed all your customers.
It's true, man. It's true. And most of these business owners, I feel bad for them because they've been done so dirty and so wrong by so many people. All these guys just
Yep.
banging the phones on them that they don't want to, they value their knowledge so much more than what the truth actually is. And they claim to be ignorant. And it's unfortunate because they're not ignorant because the information's out there. They just
Right.
value
They
their
just
current
got bad
knowledge more than what's
information.
out there.
Yeah.
And it's a shame, man, because they could be getting money back from overpaying on prescriptions. They could be getting money back from their claims funds. They could be getting money
Right.
back from participating in wellness programs and giving more to their employees. And they think, well, I
Right.
can't give more to my employees because the economy's tight. No, the
Right. I
economy
can't
is tight
afford
because you
it.
got the wrong products.
Right. You got the wrong products.
Get level
Little do you
funded,
know, you
get
literally
PHI.
don't pay anything for it.
Exactly. It pays for it. Same thing with level funded, man. I tell people the
Yeah.
same thing. I'm like, level funded, PHI, and PBMs, pharmacy benefit managements, right?
Yeah.
When you do those three things, you can make, depending on the size of the company, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars back in revenue that you
Right.
can use to scale your company or
Yeah.
expand things.
Right.
Hire more people to make your company run smoother and take the stress off of some of your other employees that maybe are key that you want to keep around.
Yeah. It's like most people, when they think of insurance and they think of adding on more insurances, right? They're thinking, oh, but that's just more money out of my pocket.
Right.
When now, with all these different, tax incentives that are out there, you're actually going to make a profit by giving these benefits to your employees.
Exactly.
And, it's like when I first learned about it, I was like, man, I don't know about that. That just sounds too good to be true. And then I looked into it and looked at the IRS.gov websites and the links and all the different tax codes. And I'm like, holy crap, you literally can make a profit by offering more insurance, and it doesn't cost the business anything or the employee anything, right? And then so my thought process, well, why would the U.S. government do this? Why? It's always about the money. It's actually saving the country money because they got less people committing suicide, less people diabetes, less people they got to pay doctor bills that they didn't
Emergency
pay.
room. Keeps people out of the ER, man.
Yeah, ER. I mean, dude, like you name it, they still have to treat these people, right?
That's it.
Like, and if somebody dies and they don't have the money for the funeral, they can't just throw the body in the ocean, right? Somebody's got to pay for that.
Yes.
Right. So the country needs people to be happier and healthier so it can save them money. That's why they're willing to give these tax credits for these wellness benefits, because in the long run, it's going to save them more than if we just continue on this super unhealthy path.
That's the truth, man. It's a truth. And most people look at it and say, it's too good to be true. That doesn't exist anymore. The secrets are out. All the secrets are out that the rich people are doing, the top 1%, the Fortune 100 companies, all of those secrets are out. And you can take advantage of those same techniques, those same skills, those same strategies as a small business. I mean, you need 10 employees. 10 employees and you have access to every single benefit that's out there.
Right.
If you're under 10 employees, it gets a little bit tougher, but I have strategies for that, right?
We can do it now with 5+.
There you go.
5+ full-time W-2 employees making over $25K a year. We can do it.
Yep.
The savings I don't think is as high, but you're still not coming out of pocket. You're not paying anything, and you're still going to make some money.
That's it.
And the more employees you have, the more you're going to profit, the better. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
But to your point, Shaheen, like if you do it now when you're smaller, it's going to give you the resources and the funds to get bigger, to grow
100%.
bigger, to
Plus,
be able to recruit.
You're giving the persona of a large company,
Correct.
right? you might only have 5 employees, but what other 5-employee company do you know offers all these benefits for free right now?
Right.
There's not a whole lot.
There isn't.
You could be one.
Yep.
And you're not even paying for it. They don't have to know that.
That's it.
Right? Hey, we're going to give you travel benefits. We're going to give you a nutritionist. We're going to give you mental health counseling. You're going to get all that because you're a full-time W-2 employee for us. And that's how we value our employees.
Exactly.
It's like,
and to your point, not everybody gets a job for money. A lot of people get jobs for benefits because they got 6 kids, 7 kids, and they're like, dude, I don't need money. I need benefits for my kids, man. I need life insurance. I need this. I need that. I mean, that's another side to it too. There's guaranteed
the whole
issue
life insurance policy is just huge. Most people don't have any kind of plan for the future as far as retirement. Even if you just use a whole life insurance plan as like a retirement
as a piggy bank
fund, use it like a piggy bank. You're going to make so much more interest on that. You can borrow against it tax-free. And not only that, if the government is putting $1,500 a year into it, so you're making an extra $1,500 a year just by having it. Right, through PHI. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
And it's simplified issue, which is basically guaranteed issue, which is unbelievable, man. There's very few companies that will do guaranteed issue on whole life.
Guaranteed issue, right.
So, and not only for the employee, but for their dependents too.
Yeah, exactly. You pass away, you get hit by a bus on your way home from work in a few weeks. Like,
that's it.
You got no life insurance. You got nothing.
Yeah.
Then what?
And you got living benefits with that too. With those whole life policies, you need to go. You get hit by a bus, and dude, the worst thing, you get hit by a bus and you don't die, and you end up being hooked up to life support for 3 years. Who's paying that bill?
Forever. Who's paying it?
Your life insurance is paying that bill because you can access it for living
benefits. Yep.
So it's so important that people don't realize these things. You just see the expense, see the expense, see the expense. What if you could work for somebody that would eliminate that expense?
Right.
And you could get this product and better serve your family. Because at the end of the day, we all have different identities. You have a different identity now too, because you're married now. So now you're a husband, you're a business owner, you're a community member, you're a son, right? You have these different identities, and I have identities too. I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a son, I'm a brother, I'm a member of a church. Like, I have all these identities that I want to serve, man. It's not just my business that I care about. It's all those other things. And the products that we sell and the products that we do, because you and I are in the same place. We don't, there's no such thing as work-life balance, man. It's just love what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
And you don't need work-life balance.
Make it one. You don't need work-life balance.
That's it, man. Yeah. On my Sabbath, I answer calls sometimes because if it's a client that I've had for 10, 20 years, then I'm answering that call because that's just not a client. That's a friend of mine. That's someone that I have a vetted interest in because we have a relationship. I'm not transactional. I'm relational.
Exactly.
And I truly believe in that. And when you do these products like PHI, you do pharmacy benefit refunds, when you do level funded, you're creating relationships with people for the long haul. Not transactional
relationships, not just trying to earn your business and part ways.
Yeah.
That's what most salespeople do, right?
Yep.
We're not salespeople.
Nope.
Right? We're consultants that's trying to help you for the long run, right?
Exactly.
Like, we're not just going to do one deal together and part ways. We're going to keep bringing you things that are going to help your business grow and save money for as long as we know each other.
Exactly.
It's just the way then and there's a reason why people like us scale the way that we do. And the people that don't, they reach a cap because you can only grow so high if you're constantly having to get new clients. In 15 years, we don't need to get more clients because it's just going and going and going. Right? We've helped all these businesses last 15 years, and they're going to go on forever and ever at that point, right?
Exactly.
That's what it's all about.
It's the truth, man. It's the best way to do it, brother. And I agree with you. Law of the lid, right? John Maxwell said the law of the lid. You're your own lid. When you meet other people, they show you different heights. You start to raise that, right?
Yeah.
And when we build relationships with clients, it just happens, man.
Yeah.
And to your point too, with sales, it's, I give away so many sales now because I'm like, I don't need to make all the commission. I'm okay making 10%, 20%. Because I'm feeding someone else, I'm doing what's right for my client, and to be honest with you, I'm so busy that some of these things that I do, I'd be like, you don't want me. I'm too busy for you. You want someone that's going to pay attention to everything that's going on with you right now.
Yeah.
And I pass it off to people, and they're like, awesome. And I'm like, great. You give me a little affiliate fee or whatever, but I put them in the right place, and I grew those resources. I'll give you a great example. Yesterday, and I posted this, right? That my client that got in a car accident,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
she's hysterically calling me and texting me, and I'm in the middle of something, and I see the text, and I'm like, no, I let go of the appointment I was on. I call her immediately. What's going on? She's telling me hysterically, oh my God, my husband was in this accident. Someone ran a red
Right.
light. She hit him. We're on the way to the hospital. I don't know what to do. What's going to happen? I said, listen, no problem. I mean, they've been with me for over a decade. And I said,
Right.
listen, no worries. This is your plan. This is what it's going to do. You got nothing to worry about. And I'm going to have our internal lawyer. I'm going to connect you with our internal lawyer. I'm going to connect you with this guy that I refer business to. He's going to take care of everything. Do not talk to the insurance company. Let him help you. Let him walk you
Right.
through it. She had an appointment with him today, walked her through the whole process. She feels safe, protected. She feels
Good.
like $1,000,000 because she's got that anxiety off her shoulders. She's
Right.
mitigated that worry by having
Right.
tools and resources that I
Yeah.
provided through ProCare.
And that's the unfortunate thing is, like your loved one gets hit by a car, gets into a bad car accident. You've only got a couple minutes to think about, oh, I hope they're okay. And then what about the insurance? Are we going to get sued? Are we going to, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like, it's such a shame, man. And so it's so important to have a company or somebody like you in their phone that they can call at any time and say, hey man, like, what do I do?
Yeah,
What do I do?
exactly.
Right? Like,
Exactly.
what am I going to do in this situation? Who should I call? What should I do? Because there's so many routes that a situation like that can go. Let's say the person that hit them wasn't insured and they're an illegal. And, like, you got to worry about what to do. Let an attorney handle it.
Yeah.
Call your insurance
Get a pro.
expert. You know what I mean? Get the pros to do it.
That's it.
So you don't have to worry about it. That way, all you have to worry about is getting your person, your loved one,
Yeah,
better.
the thing that matters. Take care of your
Yeah.
loved one, take care of your
Yeah.
family, take care of what matters. I'm going to handle everything else. I've got a crew of people. And
Exactly.
she thanked me like crazy. I said, listen, I really didn't do much. It was the
Right.
lawyer that helped you, was this and this and that. All I did was open the doors and created obviously I did a lot of work to create the relationships. So then
Right.
when I get new brokers that come on, I'm like, listen, man, here's your Rolodex of people. If anything ever happens, you
Right.
handle it by sending them
Yeah.
here, by sending them
Yep.
there, by sending them here. So like
Yep.
my guys know that when they're sitting with someone says, hey, do you handle this? Yep. Yep.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. I handle everything. Call me for everything. Everything. You
Yeah.
need your grass mowed. Call me. I'm not going to mow it, but I
Right.
got a guy that can. Right.
Exactly.
I need
People call me
solar.
for anything and everything all the time. Yeah.
That's it.
Well,
Because,
I mean, dude, during COVID, one of our clients called us. He's like, I know you guys got a lot of connections. I need someone that's got 20 million masks. And I got the deal done within 3 weeks and then started a medical supply company.
I love it.
You know what I mean?
I
It's
love
like,
it, dude. Only you, man. I
it
love
was
it, brother.
nuts, man. It was nuts.
I love that.
And
That's great.
it was perfect timing because everything shut down. Lending stopped, credit card processing stopped. I mean, everything was done.
Yep.
So it kept us super busy in 2020, man.
I love it, man. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, man. Dude, it's been great talking to you. I can't wait to have you on here in the near future.
Yeah, man.
Dude, I'm excited where this thing's going.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, 3 months, I think we should hop on 3 months from now.
In 3 months, it'll be a
and
different
see where we're
conversation
at.
for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
love
Different
it, man.
background, different conversation. It's
Definitely a
it's
different
going in the right
background, right?
direction. Absolutely, brother.
I love it.
Absolutely.
Thank you again
Thanks
for
for
having me on the
hopping on,
show.
brother.
Thanks, Shaheen.